Hello and welcome. I can hardly believe that 2021 is nearly done and that this is the last video I'll post this year. I thought about posting a video about one of my bikes, but instead I decided to do a year-end wrap-up and use one of my bikes as a vehicle for that. Haha, see what I did there? Yeah, 2021 was a tough year for everybody. There's no question about that. What with the pandemic, the supply chains, the shortages, and all that stuff. I know that my troubles pale in comparison to some folks, but for me, the year started off rough in late January. I developed these headaches that just wouldn't go away, and they were like migraine level headaches. So that lasted until early April. I basically lost February and March to cycling, as well as pretty much every other aspect of my life. I mean, these things were 24/7 and nothing was touching them. And during that time for the channel, coming up with content was difficult, and I will be the first to admit that this was not always my best work. But I wanted to do my best to keep up the weekly schedule. Well, the headaches went away in April, as I said. After the headaches had gone, I still had a crippling backache, and that lasted through April all the way into early July. During that time, though, I rediscovered my Hyper Urban. That, I'm telling you, is a very underrated bike. With the addition of a set of vintage Mavic wheels that I had and some Continental road tires, that bike really popped. And even though I was only able to ride like a couple of miles or 30 minutes at a time, I think that bike kept me from going stir crazy. So in early July, I made it into a chiropractor, and boy, that is one of the best decisions I've ever made. By August, my chiropractor had me back to riding both on and off-road on a regular basis, although she wasn't crazy about me doing mountain biking, but I promised her I'd stick to the green and blue trails for a while. And I mostly did. The rest of the summer and autumn were actually pretty good for me. It's so good to feel good, So I kept busy riding and working on bikes, among other things. And I did go on a couple of mountain bike rides with a high school friend with whom I had reconnected. And he liked it so much, he recently bought a full suspension bike. I'm sure his wife is thrilled with me. And then there's a young lady with whom I used to work before I retired. We had gone on a bunch of bike rides last year, and we went on some more this year when her schedule with her kids and her husband allow. And she's just a really good friend, and I'm so glad that I get to ride with her. Also on the plus side of the ledger, in December of this year, I was able to deliver 5 bikes that I refurbished to a local charity. And I do this for people who lack transportation alternatives. 4 of these were given to me by friends to pass along, and the 5th was my 1983 Schwinn Traveler. Since I also have a Trek 400 and Schwinn World Sport steel road bikes, I didn't really need a third. Certainly didn't need a second with down tube shifters. Anyway, I know for a fact that one of them, the giant Yukon, went to a young man who had totaled his car recently when he hit a deer, and he was walking to work. Well, now, thanks to my friend's generosity, he's riding to work. My plans for 2022 include continuing to modify my Schwinn AL Comp for winter road riding. So, here's a sneak peek of an upcoming video with the mud guards in place, among other changes. I'm going to convert the wheels axles from bolt-on to quick release using a kit that I bought on Amazon. And I'm going to install a better fork that's left over from another bike using a Risk headset cup kit. Yeah, that's kind of an odd name for a product, don't you think? And while I never thought I'd be saying this, I'm looking into getting an mountain bike. Some of them are frighteningly expensive. Some of them are so cheap that you gotta wonder how long it will last. So I'm kind of narrowing in on that middle ground somewhere. And I'm looking into this because with my breathing issues, sometimes climbs pretty much do me in. As my friend Rich says, getting old ain't for sissies. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, I do appreciate that. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, however you celebrate it. I wish you peace, health, happiness, and blessings for you and yours in the coming year. Goodbye. Have a great day.